as you continue to get stronger, eventually you don't. And you have to now change tiny, tiny things, not big things.
If you want to see a change, you have to make change. And it's not always easy, right? Because if it was, everyone would do it.
Gentlemen, very excited to have both of you on here, and it has been super fun. And what I want to do for the rest of all of the podcasts that we have, the many that we're going to have in the next couple of years, was showcase and talk about real clients, real results, things that they did, and in this case, an entire family. So we have Damian Campagnano and Nicholas Campagnano here with us, and then we really have. I've worked with your entire family.
Yes. Yep.
So it's been huge. Yeah.
My younger son, Michael.
Yeah. And I mean, strong young man.
Yeah.
Strong young man.
Yeah.
No.
There.
Yeah, he's getting there.
One day.
Yeah. See, this is the problem with having a big brother on and not having the little brother on.
Yeah.
He has no voice.
None.
There's no voice.
No.
Yes. Sorry, Michael. Talking about that for, since 2016, September 2016, I met Damian. He came in, and let's talk first day. Yeah. Let's really get into first day.
Well, let's talk the day, 2 days before the first day.
Okay.
Because I was supposed to meet you on a Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I set the appointment up, and I'm like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm done. So I didn't show.
Oh,
And then they called.
Jeff
and
called.
they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was Thursday. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. No problem. Sure. Thursday. Let's do this. So I blew you off, actually.
Oh, nice.
Without you even knowing.
Nice,
I was
dude.
not going to show up. So,
Real nice.
yeah. So then I felt obligated. I'm like, let me just go and talk to see what they got
This
there.
joker.
Let's see. Well, I didn't even know it was going to be you.
Okay.
I had no clue. Just like you had no clue
That it was going to be
that
you.
it was going to be me.
Yeah. And then
Here we are today.
it sparks fly.
And
Well, I mean, I think for you, when you first came in, I mean, I think we all do this thing where we first start training with somebody, and it's like, if you're a guy, it's like, hey, we're gonna do some bro-y shit. We're gonna talk about, let's get my arms a little bigger. I need my waist a little smaller. You do stuff like, I gotta get my bench up.
Mm-hmm.
We all do that.
yeah.
And that to me is always funny, in the beginning, because when you first started, it was mainly about aesthetic stuff. Right.
100%.
Like you coming in.
Yeah, I came in with I'm sick of doing this at the gym by myself. I'm like, let me get a trainer. And in my mind, a trainer was just, we're going to do chest try, back by, shoulders, legs.
The bodybuilder.
That all the stuff. Like I used to do, chest try, back by, shoulders, maybe legs.
Yeah. maybe.
Yeah. And I was like, but I just need something. So I said, let me give Sculpt a shot back in 2016.
It's 2016. And then, we ran into a health issue that we didn't know, so to put things into context, I would run him through, a cardiorespiratory type of program. Like every once in a while we would do it. And even just like, he was just dogging it, man. I'd be like, how can you be this bad? Like, I'm like, how?
It was bad.
And then it was extremely bad.
I remember one time we were doing just lat pull downs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm out. And we literally, because I think you thought I was going to
die,
destroy your gym, or pass out.
Or die, yeah.
So you brought me outside, and we were just kind of chilling, talking. But I was like, and I didn't know really what was going on.
Yeah.
But I would just fight through it. I would just like, this is just me.
This is it.
I just gotta, whatever it is. And then it was basically January of 2018 where I was like, something's definitely not right.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah, just doing simple things at home. My heart would race. I couldn't get it to calm down. It was just, when you read your body, I'm like, something's just not right.
Yeah.
So went to the doctor, and then they said basically that my mitral valve needed to be repaired or replaced.
Okay.
So was not ready for that. Trust me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was.
I'm gonna hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ever since that, I do not go to doctors alone. I always bring Jody. I need an next of kin.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to tell me now.
Tell you something
it was just, I was just not ready for that. But they also said that I could live with it.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, you don't need to do this.
Oh, you didn't need. They were like, you don't need.
No,
to do it if you want to stay.
your quality of life will be like this, but it's not. You don't have to get it done right now.
Yeah.
But I was like, I talked with Jody, and I'm like, I got to just do it. I'm not gonna wait.
Yeah.
I just don't want this. There's something wrong, and I want it fixed.
Well, so when you have it too, but I also think you wanted to perform. Like you were like, how far can I take it?
Well, that was just it. I didn't want to have to, always be winded or just, literally I would lie down and I would just feel my heart. Like it was going to just come through my chest. Like it was just like, what is going on? And plus, in our family, we get a sniffle and we're ready to,
That is true. That is very true.
call the morgue.
Yeah, more men, though.
Yeah.
That's dudes, man. I
so
hate being sick.
I'm like, I'm not playing with this.
Yeah.
I don't want to take any chances. Let's just get it done, and see what happens. Right?
Yeah. Well, so I remember when, because then I remember when you found out, and then you were like, hey, I'm we're going to schedule, the surgery. We're going to schedule the surgery.
Yeah, because right. So in 2016, when I first started with you, we were doing our stuff.
Yeah.
We got through stuff, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't like from when we started till the operation.
Yeah.
We were half-assing it.
Yeah.
There were it was working.
Yeah, we were pushing it.
We
were pushing it within the confines of how far we could.
Correct.
Right.
And that's what I mean, where I was like, I was getting by. Like, it was working, but there was always that extra step. I could never, go a step further. I'd always have to take a step back first and then kind of go forward.
Yeah.
So it was definitely working. We were doing it here. Then you kind of gave me that hybrid too, where I was kind of coming in once, but going to another,
another facility and training.
Right. Just doing it on my own and then coming back. But then it just got to the point where I just couldn't even, I couldn't live with it anymore.
Yeah.
I needed to just get this thing done.
Yeah.
And fixed.
It's such a big, deal when somebody says, hey, you're going to have open heart surgery, when you're going to have heart surgery. That's like it's like brain surgery and heart surgery we talk about. And it's like, that's the pinnacle. That's the top.
Oh yeah. When he told me, he said, you're going to need surgery. And I'm like, on my heart?
Yeah.
He's like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a cardiologist.
That's where, you didn't come in here. It's not the dentist over here. Yeah.
But yeah, just to hear that, I was just like, I don't know.
Well, I think that, after you hear something so massive like that, so I remember coming from where I'm from, kind of watching this, and I'm like, shit, it all makes sense. It makes so much sense. Because now you never had that extra little bit. Like if we tried to push, 10% more, it wasn't there. You just couldn't get it,
Yeah.
So, you're going into surgery, we talked about it, and day of the surgery thoughts, let's say. I don't find this out till much later. But
my process, what got me through everything?
Yes.
Yeah. So to make this long story very short, my mother and wife would go to this, I don't know, healer woman. I don't know. And they said that she has this book on if you're going in for surgery. It kind of helps you relax of that. I'm like, I'm good. They bought it for me, but I'm like, I'm all set with that. Don't need it. And I was really good going into it. Like, I didn't even crack the book, but mentally I was there. I was ready to go. Then a buddy called me up, like, that I don't see a week before. And he's like, oh, I heard what's happened. He's like, wow, are you going to be all right? Because I heard it's pretty bad. Thank you. I'm like,
good friend.
I'm like,
good buddy. That's a buddy.
Thanks for that.
That's
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So then my head just got turned. I was done. So I grabbed the book. I'm like, let me see what happens, right? Very small book, right? Banged it out in one night, basically. And then there's a CD that you listen to. And as she goes through it, she's saying, okay, there's different steps. So you got, visualize yourself, the day of surgery. Okay. Then you see yourself after surgery, right after, like in ICU, and then see where you're going to be, then see yourself down the road 3-6 months. Kind of like, so you're visualizing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had all my stuff. I'm like, all right. And what's really crazy is at the end of every of that disc, she would say, you'd breathe. And then she's like, all right, I'm going to count from 10 backwards. And if you want to get up, get up. But if you don't, go to sleep. And when I was in ICU and they were waking me up, I heard her voice. This is what's crazy because I don't believe in this stuff. But it is what it is. But I heard her, and I'm like, I'm getting up.
Yeah.
And boom, I woke up right there with ICU. They were, and it was wild. So then we had these things, right? So then my next goal was seeing myself recover, and I was out. I was out of the hospital in like 2 days.
Yeah.
I was in on Tuesday. I came home Friday.
Yeah.
But then it was a little slow. But my vision, what kept me moving,
So funny.
was my 6-month goal. I just visualized myself deadlifting
Yes.
like that. I'm like, if I could deadlift,
Hell yeah, brother.
then I know the heart can take it and it's not gonna explode on me. So that's what got me through.
So you're in surgery. You have your son literally sitting right next to you.
Yeah, everyone's
you have
there.
your son's wife, other son, family.
My mom, everyone.
This guy goes out thinking about deadlifting, not about his
Doesn't
family.
even think about me.
Not even thinking about you.
Doesn't care about
Not
me at
thinking
this
about
point.
you.
No.
Dude, that's so funny.
Because I said to myself, if I could deadlift, then everything else is fine.
Then you could see him. Yeah. Okay. He's got a good point.
I get
it.
it.
means that everything else it worked out. So
That's so funny.
but yeah, it was that's what my goal was, to deadlift.
I have told that story maybe like 300 times, bro. I've told it so many times to people. I'm like, when they have surgeries, like, I got a client, I got a buddy that, he just focused on deadlifting. And then I explained it the way that you said it. Like, well, if you could do this thing that you love,
And that's what she was saying.
the rest
right.
is gravy. Like,
It
you're going to
means
be.
you got there.
Exactly.
You got through it and stuff. But it was wild with that audio tape, that CD I was listening to. When I went through each step in the hospital, it was unbelievable. Like, it got me through it. It was wild.
Well, but it's like, so I'd been texting Damian back and forth, calling you back and forth, and we would talk. And it was like, hey man, how's it going? It's like, yeah, another couple months. I just need to recover a little bit, another couple months. So then when he came in, we had that conversation, because we do a lot of strength work here. We talked about our squat, our bench, our deadlift, which are, the 3 big lifts, and we focus on strength training, powerlifting, that type of shit, because that's just fun. It's just so much fun to do. So for you, coming in and after a heart surgery, after a major surgery, having that and recovery, because they crank your chest open and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They could have done 2 things. They could have went through my armpit.
Yeah.
Right, which was obviously less invasive.
Yeah.
Or they kind of
split
turkey.
the chest.
And I went. I didn't have a choice, but they did the turkey.
Yeah, they did the turkey. Turkey time.
It is what it is. But that was the other thing too. The doctors said, after 3 months, they're like, you're good. They're like, you're healed. Like, do what you want to do.
You can go do it.
And that's great that they said that. But physically, like even wearing my seatbelt.
Oh yeah,
that,
hurt.
Like I would feel like I'm like, this is weird. Like honestly, I'd probably say maybe a year ago is where I don't even think about it anymore.
No, it doesn't even.
It's there, but there was always something.
Yeah.
At least once a year, I'd call him up and I'd be like, I feel like I did before the surgery. What's going on? And he'd put the monitor on. I'd wear it like a jerk.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I can't do this, Ben. I got this thing on.
I got this thing on. And I'm like,
for nothing. Like that's just, again, our family.
Yeah.
We're going to die.
Yeah.
It's So, but again, it was just taking those steps.
Yeah.
That got me through it, obviously. And then where I am today. And
yeah.
I don't know. I just, again, they said I did not need it right then and there, but I'm like, why wait?
Yeah.
Till I get older and who knows what.
Well, so
what quality of life would I have?
That's the thing. It's like now you've done it, you've gotten those things over, and the build up now to see the impact that it's had on your family, but it's had on your training. So for your training, we ended up, you come back in and we train for another, year, 2 years, and we're really kind of going, off of the information and things that we have. Now, we get your squat, to that good, real pretty, 335, you got your bench at 250 and your deadlift at 415. We really kind of ramped you up, especially after having that heart surgery.
Yeah.
And, for also keep in mind too, you were coming in 3 days 1 week and 4 days the next.
Right.
3 days and 4 days.
4. Yeah.
So if you're thinking about it, about the quality of life that you have, you're still hanging out, you're still able to have a social life, you're a career professional, you have all of those things, and you're still coming in and you're avoiding injuries. For the most part, everybody has them, but you're avoiding those injuries. But today, even that story in its singularity, in that it is you, correct? Mm-hmm. And then we have this massive impact on your family. Because so then I remember you started talking to Jody, your wife, and Jody's been kind of dodging me for a while. Jody was dodging me for like 2 years, 3 years, and like it was kind of like, hey, you should go. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to. My elbows hurt, my knees hurt, and it's the normal
Sure.
stuff, man. Then not all of a sudden, but then slowly but surely she started coming in. She kind of came in to see you train one time, and then she was saying, now Jody's coming consistently, and I'll be honest with you, she's jacked, man. Like she is lean.
She changed 100%.
She is lean
100%.
up.
Yeah.
And she has dropped her body fat.
Yeah.
She's got nice arms now.
Yep.
She's doing push-ups and shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of things that in her mind she would never have thought she would be doing.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Just because we used to, even like before we got married and stuff, we had gym memberships. We would go, but it's different.
Yeah, it is different.
Like that's like when people say, why do you have a trainer? And I'm just like, I can't really explain it. If I had to, I would just say, when you go to the gym by yourself and you put the weight on, you're never going to put the weight on that's going to bury you.
Yeah.
Right? You're never going to know because you don't want to get buried, right?
Yeah, you don't want to.
First of all, you don't want to look like that guy at the gym, right?
Yeah.
So how are you ever going to know what your real numbers are? Right, because I know that's what we do a lot, working off of numbers, right? You got your max, then we're doing percentages.
Yeah.
So how can you get correct percentages if you don't know what that Berry number is, right? So that's why I tell people I'm here because I'm doing things that I would never do by myself or even with a buddy.
Yeah, especially with the buddy because now you have the egos going back.
Well,
and
that's
forth,
it, and either you're doing their weight, they're doing your. You're going through the motions, but are you really benefiting? And I always say if I'm going to dedicate an hour to do it, I want to make sure that I'm getting the most out of that hour.
Yeah.
And then move on with my day and get it done. Because when we first started, it was early. We were coming here early. Like we were either like 6 or 7 a.m.
6 or 7. Yeah.
We were getting, but then as things changed, that's the other thing. I was like, so many hours of my day, I'm just
sitting there.
Am I wasting?
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of fine tuned it, and I'm like, you know what? This is a better block for me.
This makes more sense.
Right. The time we're doing it now, it allows me to function both with with work and just my schedule.
Yeah.
Not having to just get it done real early. Although I'm not a guy that can lift like after 2:00. I know we've done some stuff, and I don't know, something about like when that.
But it's
after
just
12,
preference.
it's like I like to get it done in the morning.
But it's a preference, it's
yeah,
like some people
100%.
can
That's
do
what works.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But that's so for me coming to Sculpt. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Just to get that bury me.
Hell yeah.
And I say to him like, this one's gonna get buried. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
it.
we're gonna-
Let's
we're
see
gonna-
what happens. But how would you ever do that? You would never know what those true numbers are.
Yeah, with a lot of the stuff that we base off of is like, you have RPE, you have rated perceived exertion, you're able to do those things, and you have percentages off of 1 rep max. But also I think it's important too, and then you two are a good proponent for this because we've talked about it so much, is I always say working with a trainer or a professional and then going, usually what you do at the gym, unless you're a real savage, like for me, I'm going to get pretty close because that's what I've built my whole career on, is that's what I would do. But for most people are not going to get near what they actually can do.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably like 25% off. Like usually it's about
Sure.
it's about like just not quite. So having, like I said, working with Damian, then working with Jody, now it's like the family starting to kind of come in, and Nicholas is coming in to training, which, I mean, you could talk about that experience, but when you came in, it was you're just so different now. Like seeing all the things you've accomplished, and I think that 1.5 year time,
Mm-hmm.
and Michael too, but you're here, so like I said, we'll focus on you. But to see you come in, I think, where were you at weight-wise?
We started at about 230, I want to say.
Yeah.
I was at about 230, and, I was 19 or 18 at the time. I was like, this is just not acceptable. I shouldn't be this young and weighing this much because...
Plus, you just didn't feel good.
Yeah, I was always sick.
Yeah.
I was always getting sick. I just didn't feel like myself. And so, came in here and then really just grinded out. And I know I was going to the edge too, but that's why I liked, kind of like he was saying, I like this place so much more because, when I was going there, it was just too many people looking at you. And, like, I just didn't feel comfortable there. That's why here I'm with you and, you're pushing me that limit. You're doing all this to, so I could see like what I can actually do.
Yeah. With the strength side of it too, you're going to progress extremely fast.
Yeah.
Because if you're not training to that capacity, it's really easy for us to get you to where you could be or should be because you've never done it.
Yeah.
So now, remember, as you get stronger, this is fun. So as you continue to get stronger, eventually you don't, and you have to now change tiny things, not big things. So let's say you got your training, your sleep. So keep in mind he's young, he's going out having fun. Yeah, he's going out partying, having fun. But that's just, it is what it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you have that. You get strong until you don't. And then we have to change these smaller things. Like for you, we had to, like, for instance, when Damian's being pushed to that max, because we've worked together for a really long time, we're changing a half hour of sleep here, 25 grams of carbs here, 25 grams of protein here, moving some things around. Now, for Nicholas coming from where he's at, we're going, hey, man, just make sure you get, the 7.5, 8 hours of sleep. Make sure you get 210 grams of protein. Make sure you get, certain things. 3 to 4 days of strength training in which he was coming in. So the thing that Nicholas did very differently than Damian, which affected your entire family, tracking his food. You were tracking your food down, and you just went from that 230 to about 198.
Yeah.
At your lowest when you were here at your lowest. And obviously we had the math, the strength gains. But really, it was about your composition that changed.
Yeah.
And then it gets your attitude differently. Like I said, as a household,
Sure.
the way you all view your health wellness now is very different than it was in 2016, 2017.
Absolutely.
100%,
and we see that as a whole with your entire family.
Yeah.
Like so Michael plays football, lacrosse now.
Yep.
Very strong young man, coming up on you,
He's
dude.
there.
He'll
You
right.
watch it, man. He's gonna slap you around when you get older.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I know for a fact.
This is
he
a
will
documented.
On this day,
On
I
this
will
day.
claim it right now.
He will never.
He will never throw me around. It will never happen.
It'll never happen.
It's impossible.
Oh, I can't wait to watch you guys fight one day. Just obviously, your mom didn't hear this part. Shut this part off. But so now you have those strength gains. You see the massive strength gains. Everybody's being the one thing that we practice, and now you're practicing it, is just consistency.
Yeah.
So we have that consistent game. But I also like the thing that we get with strength training is all of you have seen the benefits joint-wise, health-wise, body-wise with strength training, nutrition side with you counting your macros.
Yep.
And now you have a different approach now nutritionally.
Yeah.
What ended up changing?
That was always the piece. And the last one's going to be cardio.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one day.
We'll get that one day.
I mean, I walk every day, so that's cardio. Right?
That is cardio. It is cardio. Get your steps in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Get your steps in.
It's
It's freaking
Gotta get
good
your
cardio,
steps in.
dude.
gotta walk. But the nutrition. I was always, not McDonald's, Burger King every other day.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple times a
Yeah,
a
a
month.
couple times a
There's
month.
Not
definitely some
every day.
McDonald's up in there.
No, but yours.
it was like cereal,
Yeah.
like the sugar stuff. Like I mean, he's lucky his name is not Cocoa Pebbles. I mean, seriously, like honeycombs. Oh gosh.
Yeah, dude. Those are banging cereals,
Beautiful stuff.
Reese's Puffs.
Yeah, so I
Those
would
are
always,
good.
I always start out well, like morning, breakfast, good, eggs, this and that. And then as the day went on, and then it come at night, it was like, forget about it.
Start shoveling cereal in
It
your
was just,
face.
it was bad. And so it was always that nutrition part. Although when we first started, and I got something here for Ben.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you remember these, Ben?
I do remember these.
See, this
Look
is
at-
what you
look
would
at-
get in 2016.
2016.
Okay, he would give you a booklet, and you'd have to every day, put the date and then grams of protein, grams of carbs, how much water you drank,
Yes.
and you have to put down your meals, which had for a protein and a carb. And he would always say to me, I'm going to check this, and you would,
Yeah.
look at it, and like if you didn't track your food, or if you didn't put in there, we're going to do burpees. or
Yeah.
something crazy.
I would put a punishment in there, which
So
was
2
worked.
minutes before
It's
I
like
get out of the
coaching.
car here, I would fill in what I ate for the day, just to avoid that.
Yeah.
But but it worked. But like, even though this probably wasn't 100%
accurate.
accurate, right?
Yeah.
Because there was no place for cereal or anything.
Yeah.
But I did cut, like I was like in my, like I was probably my like 170, like from
yeah.
that Joe Pesci picture.
Yes.
To you know,
dude,
it-
that photo.
Yeah,
Dude.
is wild.
You know,
We'll put that photo
it
up.
definitely,
We'll put
it
that photo.
definitely, it worked. But then after that, so this was pre-heart,
Yep.
and then after the heart, we were still obviously we were crushing it, but the food wasn't really on point. So the nutrition part, right? So I tipped the scale 201 and change, just feeling bloated, just feeling, you know, I don't know. I was just like, I need to really just get on point with my nutrition. Let's have fun with this, because you're always telling me,
Okay.
you know, there's no right or wrong, right? I mean, just try it.
Well, it's tool.
You know,
like different tools.
Don't
Counting your macros is a
Right.
massive tool. It is the best tool
100%.
that you could use, because now you know. Food journaling, a phenomenal tool to use, and there's been plenty of studies to show about food journaling. It can be very helpful, because then you also see patterns and things that you're doing, and that's what you're seeing, which you didn't write.
No,
but yeah,
no.
but I did this for years.
Yeah.
We did this for. I did food journaling primarily as the way, because it was the least invasive and thing in there, but with after years of experience, kind of understanding that there's multiple tools, and then you just recently, started to get into fasting.
Well, that's it. So,
but this is because of the Dana White picture.
100%.
I knew it, dude. Well, because I saw it too.
The whole family. First, listen, you come to the Campagnano household, everyone breaks my balls.
Yeah.
Because they're like, "What'd you see now?" Right?
I know.
What podcast did you see? What do you?
I knew.
It's
before you told me. I knew
where I got it from.
I knew where he got it from. Which he does look jacked.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
Dana does look jacked.
Oh yeah.
But so I'm like, it's on the internet. How could it not be? True?
It needs to be true, because
It's
it's
real.
on the internet.
Everything
I saw it
is
on
real.
Instagram.
Everything on
It has to be
Instagram is real.
Is real,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay? Let's just
1,000%.
all right.
YouTube, it's all real.
TikTok.
It's
That's
all
it.
real.
That's it. So I told Jordan, I'm like, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I told you, and I was gonna go, whatever. And you're like, just put a timer on, set a
Most beneficial.
set a timer. Do 24 hours and see how you feel.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, right. Why try to bite off?
Yeah,
Play
yeah.
it. Go
Because
for
what
it.
were you gonna go 72 hours?
I was pretty
Was
much.
that what you were gonna do?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. See the motor.
He can't. This
these
guy.
guys over here.
Look
No,
at it. No, you need this to keep in check in
Yeah.
the family.
See,
This is why you guys are so
couldn't do
successful.
this.
Right.
I couldn't do this.
This is the reason why this family has been so successful, because they will roast one another
Oh,
and hold
constantly.
each other.
You don't
No,
understand.
no.
Every
No, I
night at
get it.
dinner,
I'm a part of
it's
it every day.
legit.
Yeah.
We just flame each other.
He has not walked in to our facility
No.
without somebody bagging on him
right.
immediately.
Every time I walk in.
Oh,
Ben,
anytime
Katie, anybody.
Nicholas reads a Ben text from you
Oh,
to him,
yeah.
Jody's response, Ben's such an asshole.
Yeah, always.
Ben's
not
such
wrong.
an
He's
asshole.
such an idiot.
It worked. It worked. You're welcome. So, but you were going to go 72
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. Like,
Okay.
why not? Let's
But
give it a
look,
shot.
It's
Let's
still good.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again,
And keep
they
in mind,
said it works, right?
I was at that time, this was only a couple weeks ago, but I had been using fasting as a tool for maybe 8 years now. So like before it kind of, it gets big. Everything fad diets go in and out. I was using it because of inflammation and buildup of inflammation in my knees. My elbows were bothering me. And I really just think I was just eating carelessly for a while. You just get into it, and I was lifting heavy in that. So this is something I'm very familiar with, the literature on fasting. But then, so when you told me and you saw the picture of Dana, I knew. And then that 48 hours, I kind of got a play-by-play. I would text him. Text him, every, how's it going?
Right. And that's, but again, so I set the timer and it goes off. I'm like, you know what? I'm all right. Let's set it for another 6 hours. Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the best part is, then you get to 8, 9 at night and you're like, oh, I'm going to bed soon anyway. So here's another, 9 hours.
Another 12,
easy,
yeah,
12,
yeah,
right.
10,
Until I
12
eat again.
hours,
So,
how long did you go for that?
so I started Thursday. So Thursday at 9 a.m. In the morning after, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
You trained,
Right. So before we trained, that was my last meal. I had breakfast. And then I didn't eat all day Friday. And then Saturday.
It was not a good weekend. Let me just say that. It
I
was
was
not
gonna
a
ask-
good
Yeah,
weekend.
until
I was
Sunday.
just
So
gonna
Sunday
ask, how
morning.
bad
Sunday.
was
It was
But
not a
wasn't.
good week.
I wasn't going crazy. Like I wasn't like throwing people off the walls.
Angry man.
Yeah, he was angry man.
They always say I'm an angry man, but it's not.
No,
Very
it's not.
angry.
No, so I I've been wanting to ask this because here's the thing. I don't make any, this is dead serious. We have this in my household. I don't make any business decisions. I don't talk to my wife. I don't even, I would just kiss my son, all this other stuff. I know I'm an asshole when I'm hungry. I'm not good. So I try to make all major decisions after I eat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Makes sense.
What you're telling me,
Yeah.
you're saying, not such a happy guy.
No,
through that time.
When he was not eating, it was
Okay, but how has it been? Because now it's been
But now it's the carb part. So I'm still,
Well,
see, that's just
exactly.
it. So I did that.
Yeah.
So I ended that fast and it was fine.
And you did great.
And
It
I
was
had,
48 hours.
Yeah, drink water. Right. And then one morning, so on Saturday morning, I had a cup of bone broth.
Mhm.
Right. Just
Yeah,
protein,
something to get in, something
right.
in your
So
stomach.
I wasn't like, all loopy and everything. And then I was like, all right, I'm done. I did the 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Felt good. The bloat totally went away.
Down, yeah.
But then I'm like, I don't want to just jump back in to the way I was eating. So that's when I started using the app.
The Avatar app.
Right.
Yeah, which now counting, because we still recommend, so this is a testament for you. So timed eating is great. It's a great tool, although fasting and timed eating are great. However, timed eating in fasting is a tool. It's not this thing that is magic. And I even have a video called Not Another Intermittent Fasting video on our page if you want to take a look at that, explaining the reason why fasting works. Some of the cognitive benefits and the inflammatory thing has to do with that you're not having anything come in and inflame your body because you're not taking anything in. But people do that one. But then the other one is you still need to know that if you are fasting, if you're intermittent fasting or timed eating, you still need to make sure you're getting adequate protein because your body will take away from that adipose tissue. It will take away from your muscle tissue, like anything when you're losing weight.
Yep.
So the thing is having your protein adequate, which is why we told Damian to track. So to having 180 grams.
Yeah, I'm always between like that high 160s to 180 a day now.
That's a good ratio to be, and you were in there too. We boosted yours like 200.
We were like 210. I want to say.
210. Yeah. And we had
which is not easy though.
It's not.
No. People,
but it's more the change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more the change.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of dedication. That's where
to the protein number.
100%.
Yeah. But the fasting is interesting because then you started. Now, are you fasting every day, or now are you fasting what are we doing?
The fast I'm doing every day is just so I'm done. My last meal by 7 p.m. I'm done.
Okay.
And then I don't have my first meal, breakfast, until 8:30 or 9.
Okay, so now you're you're doing like 12 to 13 hours.
Yeah.
So the study, I believe, with the 12 to 13 hours was increased in performance as well, or increased in lean muscle mass, tissue, and body weight, I believe. And it's a really good thing to do because I like it for the bloat.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm fasting and I feel like super bloated, you just don't feel good, which is why food allergies tests are good, which you had done.
Yep.
So find those out. Obviously, always get blood work. You can go to a doctor, a holistic doctor, I believe you guys went to.
Yep.
And get blood work. How are you going to know what to change if you don't know what you're deficient in?
Exactly.
So I always go with blood work. We get a lot of people coming in and they don't understand that you can find out a lot through blood work.
Yep.
in blood panels.
Sure.
And series of stuff
all your
to find
levels,
out.
right?
Yeah.
Magnesium, D, right?
Well, that was
and you
my
find
thing.
that out.
when
And
I
then-
got tested because I was always bloated, acid reflux, heartburn. I was throwing up, and I was just like, "What is wrong with me?" And we found out I couldn't eat gluten.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of other things on there, but the main thing was gluten.
Yeah. High inflammatory markers to gluten, correct?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like they were
high
off the charts.
sensitivity,
Like
yeah.
Which, by the way, became a fad too. This became something most people who say that they're gluten intolerant aren't. A lot of the times it just became kind of this social contagion that kind of went through. But
100%.
but still, we want to make sure that get blood work. It's so important to do. So good on you for that. And we noticed a difference in your performance and
100%.
the way that you work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was super. So make sure you do that. But with the fasting thing now, you're doing 12 to 13 hours a day of just no eating.
for my last meal. Right. So when normally I would be done eating, let's say we're done dinner by 7,
Mm-hmm.
and then by 8:15 would start the cereal or would start the the
Oh, okay, the late night eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is gone now. But also what I'm eating. So the protein levels, like, let's call it that 180 area, but my carbs every day, I'm probably maybe 50 grams of carbs a day, 60.
Well, yeah, but your fat is higher too. So now
100%.
there's a couple things that Dame
which is going to
yeah.
change though,
yes,
right?
Yes,
this is
yes,
just because what I'm trying to do now, I want to get so that 201. Now I'm at like 190.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm thinking maybe overshoot in the 80s, maybe get a little lower, and then incorporate, bring back some of the carbs, bring that back up, and work up into that, and then get that maintain weight.
Okay,
and go from there.
So when you're doing this, it's important to know that you're still focusing on calories. I know you guys know this, but I'm trying to let everybody.
I'm over 2,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Is that crazy though?
Well,
but yeah, I'm dropping.
But I mean, you're going to have 2,000 isn't crazy numbers considering what you do. But here's the one thing you're doing really well. You're doing really well is having most of your carbohydrates around. And now this isn't for everybody. This is one of those things where it's like, this is something that he's doing. This is just a tool.
Yeah.
This isn't the one size fits all. I'm a big proponent on balanced dieting. I like, you're eating your carbohydrates. It gives you more freedom. You can go have a Chipotle bowl. You can have a bowl of cereal. Now for you, we were doing this one thing really poorly. And that was at night, you start looking in the cabinets, and
I don't even know if I was
cereal.
hungry.
Yeah, you're
Like,
boredom
seriously,
eating,
just-
emotional eating. It's a lot of that, So what we did was we said, hey, we want a cutoff zone that there's nothing else going in at all. And so when you make that decision, now you have this period of time where there is zero going in, which makes the most sense because now you have nothing going in, so you don't need to worry. Yep. So for you, we kept his protein where it needed to be. We're putting his carbohydrates majority around his training cycle. So around when he's going to train or lift, he's having the majority of his carbohydrates, and he's having those fats to make sure that you're not crashing your caloric, the calories coming in, in doing those things. So now that's extremely valuable. And now you have the intermittent fasting and you're in more of a low carb, high fat, or higher fat, which is another way to do it. But what happens is I've seen in the years I've been doing this is that people start to pick a team. They have the balanced dieter team. They have the keto team. They have the intermittent fasting team. They have the paleo team. You have vegan team, the vegetarian team, the carnivore team now. I mean, you have people who are... So you have all of these things. All of them have to do with caloric manipulation in some way. Deficits, surpluses, protein staying the same. So as long as we all know that, it's extremely valuable to know. And that's what you're doing. Yep. And I hope, and I mean this, use some of those tools. If you're feeling like you need to switch things up, challenge yourself nutritionally. Because when you came in, I'm glad, Dana, thanks for the picture, dude. Post more pictures of you shirtless. And then being like, I was on a water fast. Because now it's a chain reaction now.
Yeah.
Chain reaction. You have not been this 3D in
a long time.
Years, maybe.
Long time.
You could even say years. Yeah.
Pre-surgery.
Right?
Pre-surgery.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. He all of a sudden now you've noticed because he's cut out a lot of those types of snackings and eatings and really making sure. I see less bloat. I see more of the 3D, which just means his muscles are showing. It's starting to pop. He's starting to lean out a bit. And I'll bet in the next month, it's almost unrecognizable. That's how much I could see that.
I believe it.
It's like when you didn't see yourself. So Nicholas didn't see himself yet. We hadn't taken any pictures yet. And then we took a picture and he was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yo. I mean, because think about it. That was almost 30 pounds.
No, it was insane.
Yeah. To be able to have that.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm okay, though, switching up. Like, I'm not saying, this is how I'm doing it going forward. I know. Like you always tell me, just have fun with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you feel like this is kind of, not there anymore, let's switch it up. But tracking-wise, I'm definitely drinking that Kool-Aid now.
Yeah.
I know you. I know you.
That's
always,
good though.
Yeah. No. It's 100%. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. It's like because you really wind up eating the same things.
Yeah.
Right. The amounts.
Most of the time. Yeah.
Will change.
Creature of habits.
But
yeah.
Right. But the foundation, whether it's for the proteins, the beef, the chickens, it's there. It's just, is it 6 ounces this time, or is it 5, or is it 8? So, but when it's already in there, it's so easy to just change. And then, but what I liked about it is I'm actually looking, because now I'm looking, saying, oh my gosh, if I had tracked even when I was eating back, I don't even want to know what those carb numbers look like.
Oh,
yeah. But then it makes sense to why you're not, getting the appearance that you're trying to get, right? So you're working real hard at the gym. That's great. The strength numbers are there, right? But then it's like, I also want a little visual of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm like, I gotta do the diet. I don't even want to call it diet. It's not a diet, because I'm not starving. I'm eating.
Yeah.
Like, I am full. When I'm done, I am full. Like, I couldn't put anything else in my mouth. But it's just what are you eating? The times I'm eating, and just being able to see that on the app is unbelievable. Like, game changer for me.
Yeah, and I think that there's obviously multiple ways that you could do this. We know that, like, there's multiple ways that you can go about it. However, the best way would be knowing. So Damian also is my financial advisor. When he wanted me to build and go, hey, Ben, you got to put X amount away. You got to make sure you're doing this. You got to pay attention to this. You got to make sure you do this. If I didn't pay attention to any of those things, they wouldn't gain. Yep. I wouldn't learn anything. I wouldn't save anything. And I would be in the same situation that I'm in. I'd be broke.
No money.
No money.
Broke.
But it's the same thing with tracking your food. So if you wanted to pay the ultimate attention to your nutrition, it's tracking your food. Now, it's also important to know, and we've talked about this, Avatar Nutrition app is the app we use. I love that app because it's not a weight loss app. It can be, but I think it's more about a performance dieting or performance app, I think, because we still got those numbers. We still made sure that you were strong. We still made sure that you were performing well. We made sure that our calories, we weren't dropping 10 pounds, and crash dieting and ruining your metabolism. We made sure that we kept those up in a way where you still felt good when you came in and trained.
Yep.
When you still felt good when you came in and trained. Now, that's the difference. If we're going to try to break up and really, throw diet culture away, because I'm around that constantly. I was just on the phone with a guy, and he was telling me, I eat 1,300 calories and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, that is not good.
Right.
You are not in a good space. You really need to go see a professional, and you need to make sure that this would make sense for you. So we're in that situation, right? Avatar Nutrition has been a phenomenal app for an entire family to change the way that they do things and see things. And I think I've helped many families in my career, and out of all the families that I've helped and all the families that I've really worked with, what I see the most is with this family is that it wasn't just one person changed everyone, even though you started first. It was that you started to value 100%. Everything, like the strength training, the cardio, the walks, making sure you're cutting this out, sports. And now you're now a coach too. You got a big promotion in that. That's huge, man. Yep. That's congratulations on
Thank
that.
You.
And feeling confident in that position. And it's in Farmington, correct?
Yep. Farmington High School.
That's sick, dude. Yeah. Congratulations on that. That's massive.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you have all these things that happen to you when you start taking better care of your health, and you have something that happens to your family when you start taking better care of your health. Yeah.
It's true, right? I know it sounds corny, but it's like your health is so much more important than your wealth.
Yeah.
Right? Because
even though he's helped me with my wealth,
but without health, right?
Money
it's
up.
like, I don't know, and it's just that you have to start. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people, it's so easy, right, in this country to just stop in at McDonald's, grab a number 2.
Number 1, Big Mac.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Number 2, medium Coke.
They're still pretty good.
Good stuff.
They are pretty good.
Good.
But you bring up a good point. So with that, the sooner you start saving, like I said, saving money or saving for your retirement, the best you are, the better off you'll be, correct?
100%. Yeah. But you're not going to see results, just like here.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
The sooner
you're not going to see instant.
Yeah, the sooner you start strength training, the earlier you find it, the better off you'll be.
Correct.
Now you have somebody like yourself that was strength training. Now you've had different age groups in their family that have discovered it, and look at the impact that has.
Yeah.
So we do something on this podcast too. And what I like to do is, I mean, I definitely want to do this with both of you. I think this is valuable. If you could say one thing, say something, or give a message to somebody, what would it be in this, with your experience and how far you've come and in this journey? What would you tell somebody? What would you tell somebody, Damian?
I guess I would say, look in the mirror
Mm-hmm.
and say to yourself, today is the healthiest I'm going to be. And if you're not happy with that, or you can improve it, do something about it. I that's how I look at it. I teach my kids, obviously, how to be smart with their money. I do that because I'm a little selfish, because I want to make sure that they're adults that don't have to come to me in my retirement, right, to support them. So start young. And also with my health now, I don't want to be in my 70s where now I'm a burden to my kids because I didn't take care of myself. So I really look every day and just say, okay, am I improving that? Am I getting better? And again, it's not crazy stuff, right? I'm not like looking to go run 100 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Just small steps. And the strength part of it is I believe so strong. I mean, I even talk to all the gentlemen that are older than me and stuff, and they literally cannot even just stand and sit and then get back up, right? And they're like 10 years older than me.
It's true.
And it's just like, I don't want to be there. I just don't want to be there. So the earlier you start, obviously the better off you're going to be. Like when you're saying, even with investing, right? The earlier you start, that's the key to get to that number when you're down the road. But you could start at any age. So just like with this, you could be in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Yeah, it's great for that, when you're doing it, but you also have to look ahead and say, I'm doing this not for today, but I'm taking these, like every day when I walk out of here, you say it all the time, I don't see a difference, but let's go back year over year, right? And it's huge. So it adds up. So that's what I'm basically getting at. It's just, if you want to see a change, you have to make change. And it's not always easy, right? Because if it was, everyone would do it.
That's very true.
That's like now when you hear about these new drugs that are out there, right? People are losing. I don't know. Is it really going to last?
Yeah.
Because you keep it simple, right? Just kind of watch what you eat, track what you eat, know what you eat.
Yeah.
Move.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be all right.
That's massive. Yeah, it's very, very true. Yeah, I like that. That's a hell of a message, and especially something that I think people could do. It's like, hey, it's like the time for doing. For Nicholas, if you would have to say, one thing to somebody, what would it be in that, your experience with your own journey?
Yeah, I definitely say stay dedicated to it, because I feel like with me, that was my struggle here and there, because I'd get like really hyped up on it, and then I'd something would come up, and I went hit the gym for like a week, and then I'd kind of be like, oh well, whatever. So I was kind of off and on, but if, like, you really, like, when we were doing it for like a solid 4 or 5 months, that's when I saw like the biggest change. I was really dedicated to it, because kind of like you saying, I'd wake up, I'd look in the mirror and be like, damn, 20-year-olds should not look like this. Like, I should be looking so much better. So I'd definitely say staying dedicated to what you want to do, because then, it's you could talk a lot, and you could, say, oh, I'm going to get there, but you're not going to get there unless you start, like, now. You know what I mean? Instead of be like, oh, one day, why not day one? You know what I mean?
Yeah, very true.
And make it a priority. Like, make it be a part of your routine.
Yeah.
Like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking water.
Yeah.
The consistency, the consistency for sure, 100%. And staying disciplined, and that spark does go away. So like, it's like the spark, the fire. I think people always do this. I mean, we do it with relationships, but we do it with the way that we view fitness. We view it with the way that we view it with the way we purchase a car.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, there's spark in this, and then eventually it goes away, and then you're like, is this really a good car? It's the same thing. So if you're able to focus, and I think that if there's one thing, massive thing you can get from an entire family, is that this family have stayed consistent, And I would say consistent over the past couple of years, and it really shows.
Yeah.
And I think you and your family.
And we grow off of each other. Like,
Yeah.
we see different things,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
it's, and
And I think you should be.
you
proud
have
of
to be
that.
on the same page too. It helps. It
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
makes it easier, right? It's like, you don't want one person that's really into it and the other three are, you know,
Not doing anything.
coming back with McDonald's bags. Every
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
It's tough when you're
Yeah.
all on the same page. It makes it a lot easier. And then changing stuff. Because I know with us, like I told you, I kind of got sick of chasing numbers. It just became, all right, I need to do something different. And we have,
Yeah.
you know, and then kind of go back and forth. But what hasn't changed is me coming here,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. That's
Tuesday,
true.
Thursday, Saturday.
That's true.
Right? I mean,
That's
what
very
we
true.
do can change. And I say that sometimes too. I'm like, I don't want to be here today, you know,
Yeah.
but I show up.
But you still show
I
up,
show
and that's
up.
the thing.
I show up.
So I think, seriously, thank you both coming in. This has been sick.
Yeah.
And like seeing the consistency and everything has been really inspiring.
Mhm.
You know, for a lot of people, you have a couple other families. You know, we have a couple other families that we'll be doing this with, and I use your family as an example.
Yeah.
So,
Started with one, and now there's four,
and
right?
Now there's four.
Now there's
and,
four.
And that shit is awesome.
Yeah. And when it started too, real quick, when I told, because I lied about what I was doing with
Yeah.
you for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't tell my wife. No one knew that I was with a trainer.
Yes, but
And then I broke the ice and told her, because I was one of those, you know,
I don't know.
flavor of the month type things. Oh, look at this gadget, or let's try this, or, you know, I used to have so many gym memberships.
Yeah.
And you know, didn't always go. So if I told my wife, I got a trainer, she's like, great, you know. So I didn't for a while, and then I did, and then, you know,
good
now
stuff.
here we are,
And now here we are.
you know. So it's all good. It all worked out.
So, yeah, that's lied about
I
me for
hope so,
years and then
yeah.
did that. So seriously, thank you both. This
Yeah.
has been awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
If you are interested in any of our training packages, please let us know. We have an entire team that can help you out. If you are a family looking for things, please let us know. That is what we do.
And
absolutely
everyone
best.
here is awesome.
Everyone,
it's
and me.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah,
It's
it
definitely it's a good place. Yeah.
Makes us compete as a family.
That's good too. That's good
Oh, yeah.
too. All right, we are out. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
I'll
Thank
see
you.
later. Good stuff.
Second.